Welcome to Backstories, the podcast where we dig deep into the untold tales behind the people, places, and moments that shape our world. Every month, we'll uncover the hidden narratives that inspire, surprise, and challenge us. So, grab your headphones and get ready to journey into the past, one backstory at a time.
The next story is called The March Goes On by the Long-Winded Woman.
Been thinking lately about the Women's History Month and the rebranded Women's March to the People's March this coming Saturday after a conversation with a stranger over the phone. They commented that they could tell I was passionate about women's issues, and even though I identified the voice as sounding female, which she/they did not deny, she/they said, "We all have to be careful of how we identify others in reference to what I guessed was the use of pronouns." Yes, it is worthy to note women's identity struggle throughout history, and now in current times, I will first be identified as a they, as it is all-encompassing, unless I self-identify verbally as a woman, she. In January's 2017 Women's March that I created, Women's March posters for, are now outdated, as this year 2025 March has been rebranded to the People's March, so I'm feeling a little lost in my own identity and otherness these days. Yes, I'm a person, part of a people, but not all people are treated equally or have the same rights, specifically women in this mentioning. And self-identifying women all over the world due to COVID never even got the chance to publicly celebrate the 100th year anniversary of the 19th Amendment granting women the right to vote. And since the uncelebrated 100th anniversary came and went without much reflection or recognition, self-identifying women lost their constitutional right to reproductive rights. So it seems that the resonating message this January 2025 is your body, my choice. So now let's check the box other and have a People's March on January 18th about it. Now I think about Trump's day one deportations, border wall, and the scrapping of humanitarian programs for migrants fleeing war, poverty, or the lack of resources. And I recently discovered that the only reason I'm a U.S. citizen is because my great Italian grandmother, who journeyed to New York on the ship Lusitania, decided that she just didn't want to return back because the thought of boarding another ship was too much for her. So where do I belong? Do I return to Italy now? I wonder, after I had a recent encounter at the post office in early December, resulting in me having to call the police and wait to be escorted safely to my car. A man, unhappy with how his post office transaction was being handled, expressed his grievance by yelling and harassing postal workers as I waited in line nearby. He yelled, "Do I need to get Trump in here to take care of this? January 20th can't come soon enough. We need to deport all of you." He then started yelling at me, "Are you an American citizen? Deport, deport, deport. You know Ellen left the country, and maybe you should too," after I asked him to stop yelling at postal workers. Then he repeatedly marched back and forth in front of all the postal workers, yelling at their faces, "Deport, deport, deport." Then people in line started telling him to stop or leave, and that's when he became more aggressive, yelling freedom of speech declarations, and I wondered if he had a gun too. So I called the police. They came into the post office in bulletproof vests and addressed the hostile situation and got me to my car safely during a simple errand I used to do without concern. It was scary. The Declaration of Independence established the principles of a fair and just government and the rights of the people, and it's considered one of the founding documents of the United States. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator and certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Hit the rewind, please. The march goes on.